LCARA HAMRadio presents a Time Machine Tuesday vintage video release.
Welcome to Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association. You can find us at LCARA.net, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram.
Hello folks, this is Chris, KY4CKP, and I'm here today. I just want to do a short video on the DX Commander all-band vertical antenna that is produced in England by Callum McCormick, M0MCX.co.uk, that's his call sign, and it's a great portable system, but I'm going to be using it in a semi-permanent installation. And he's got some long-term testing on one of these. It's working out well so far. And I just want to introduce some of the build components of this kit because it's really meant to be an assembled but do-it-yourself kit. So you can see it ships with all the components. And I just wanted to go over a little bit on what we'll be doing with these components. I'll do some pre-assembly. I'll record some of the final completions of some of those assemblies. And then we'll be putting it up in my backyard and doing some testing with it. So primarily a three-part little short series here on this antenna, and then some occasional testing, and we'll probably post some of the results on that. Anywhere from certainly 10 to 40 meters, and you can get 80 meters with, say, an inverted L type arrangement. And you could work something out for 160 meters. The elements can be a little bit longer, so it might be a little bit tougher, but you can do an inverted L for 80 to get that on there. So I'm going to look at doing 80, 40, 20, and 10, at least primarily, maybe 6 as well. You can do 6. So when you look at these pre-drilled plates that they have, you can see there's plenty of holes. You've got your main guide points, the large holes, and you've got six elements that you can run vertically. So it's basically a fan dipole, just run vertically. And so we've got our plates, our spreader plates that are going to go up the pole towards the top of the pole. You've got the eye spreader that will go at the top of that pole. But what I wanted to talk about briefly was just some of the build components, kind of show what's going to be going on. I'll do the majority of that off camera, and then I'll be coming back and showing how to finish each one of those components. I'll leave one example left so we can film that to show that to you. But it's not a hard kit. It's not a hard kit to put together. So the first thing I can talk about is, at least currently, Callum is shipping what he calls D10 wire. It is military rated. It's a pretty decent wire. It's maybe not great wire, but it's really a pretty decent wire. It has decent flexibility to it. It's not real stiff. And at least currently, while he still has a supply, he's shipping around 100 meters, a little bit more than 100 meters. So you can cut your elements, or if you have enough left over, your radials. You can use the wire he has, or you can supply your own, depending on your lengths or how many radials you want. You may supply some of your own. I may go get some additional wire to do the radials out of. We'll see how mine turns out, being that I'm going to add 80 meters to it. So we'll be cutting that up not before too long. He also supplies some shock cord, okay? A length of shock cord here, because what we're going to do for the elements in particular is we're going to string them up when you extend the pole and run it through your guide lines, right? So you've got 6 positions here that you can run through. And then he ships some snap clips, okay? And so you can take that and you can string up your elements and give them some tension, but also some flexibility. So when they're in the wind and things like that, they're not just under a static tension. It's kind of like what we, in a lot of ways, would like to do maybe with our tents or other things, or if you're hanging banners or anything. It'd be nice to have that springy tension in there. Keep it reasonably taut, but also allow for some movement, especially in the wind. So he supplies some of that. He supplies some heat shrink. We'll talk about using this when you create your elements and you cut those off. What he recommends is that you make a loop. Once you've got your length established, make a loop and put some of the heat shrink on there, and that way you've got a tie and a clip point. So we'll be talking about that and showing that coming up. I've also got some more. This is, again, glue lined heat shrink. So I've got some more of this, but he ships what should be enough. But if you need some more, if you mess up a little bit, it's not that hard to find. Harbor Freight, places like that have the glue line. He's got some tubing here, and it's really just aquarium tubing. But with this, what we can do is he ships the hose clamps, stainless steel hose clamps, to put at each major section of the pole, and you can simply cut this to length, put it on your clamp, cut it to length, and of course gives you a lot of friction so that it can give you a nice, again, if you're going for that more semi-permanent installation, or at least several weeks install, gives it a lot of friction so that your sections won't accidentally collapse, especially again if there's wind and things going on. So we'll be showing cutting that off and putting those together. I'll do most of it off camera, but I'll show one of those. It's not hard. You just cut it to length, and it's not going to be a problem. The thing I like about these hose clamps that he's provided, they're stainless steel, and I've got hose clamps, and I'm sure a lot of us have used them for one thing or another, even on actual hoses on occasion. Is not only are they slotted, but they can take Phillips screwdriver tip. Most of the ones I've ever used here in the U.S. only have the slotted, which is a real pain for a lot of things. But it was nice to see these actually have a head for slot or Phillips as well. He supplies some paracord, 550 paracord. You can use whatever line you want to use. I've got some bright orange, depending on what I'm doing with it. And for my guy lines, I may use the bright orange, especially so the guy lines aren't a trip hazard. But he supplies some paracord. Again, he supplies the clips. They're 2-piece snap together clips. We'll show those. We've got those. We've got the element and spreader plates and things. We'll be showing that. And then the main components for the base of the antenna is the radial plate. So this goes close to the ground at the bottom of the antenna. We'll be showing that. And you've got room where you can use the hardware that's included. He has stainless steel hardware. He has the blade connectors and things. He has the larger yellow ones, which you can use. They work out nicely for your radials. And he has some blue ones, some slightly smaller ones. And it's stainless steel hardware. And so you can take the screws. You should have all of your holes should be tapped, drilled and tapped. We're trying to do this on camera. But it should go in there. I'll check those. But this will be at the very base of the antenna, pretty much at or near the ground. He assembles an SO239. You put this in here. It'll actually go like this. So you'll connect your antenna there. And then you've got the element plate. And this will go a little bit higher on there. And you'll connect the SO239 here. All your elements will come up from here. Again, it's got room for 6 of them if you want to run 6. Certainly don't have to. 3, 4, 5, 6, however many bands you want to work. And these will sit slightly on top of each other. You'll have your radials coming off down here. And so these will be about like this on the pole at the base. And then you'll have your guy lines that go up. These are nice and heavy and thick, so they shouldn't bend much. And again, you don't need lots of tension, but you can use a little tension. So we got our SO239. I ordered 100 feet of LMR 400 marine grade cabling, so I can run around to my backyard. My shack's towards the front. So we'll be showing some of the assembly parts, and then we'll be we'll be testing and cutting the aerials and the ground radials, or at least the elements, and we'll be putting up, and then we'll be doing some testing with it. So again, this is Chris, KY4CKP. There'll be more to come on this antenna as we are assembling it and getting it up. And I just wanted to get in a fairly short introduction to this and let you folks know that this is going to be coming up. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you later.